State of Wisconsin versus Elia Antonio. This is 24 CF 463. Appearances, please.
District Attorney Tony on behalf of the state. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
And Elia Antonio appears by video from the Fond du Lac County Jail by Attorney Michael Capellas.
Attorney Capellas, has Ms. Antonio received a copy of the criminal complaint?
Yes, we have, Your Honor. We acknowledge receipt of the criminal complaint, waive its formal reading, and Ms. Antonio would be requesting a preliminary hearing for her case.
Thank you. Ms. Antonio will be advised that the state of Wisconsin has issued a criminal complaint with 4 criminal charges. Count 1 is trafficking of a child. That is a Class C felony. Punishment not more than $100,000, imprisonment not more than 40 years or both. Count 2 is failure to protect a child. That's a Class F felony. Punishment not more than $25,000, imprisonment not more than 12 years, 6 months for both. Counts 3 and 4 are identical. Each represents misdemeanor bail jumping. Those are Class A misdemeanors, punishment not more than $10,000, imprisonment not more than 9 months or both. Do you understand each of those charges and the potential penalties, ma'am?
Yes.
Based upon the request of Attorney Capellas, the court will forego recitation of the probable cause that is then waived for today. So, Ms. Antonio, this represents a criminal case. That means you have the absolute right to have an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, you can seek representation through the State Public Defender's Office. If you're working or have too many assets and do not qualify for a public defender, you may petition the court for a court-appointed attorney. That's a private attorney that takes cases at a reduced rate. The county pays their bill, and you may have to repay the county. You are always free to hire your own attorney. Do you understand your rights to an attorney, ma'am?
Yes, I already have talked to one of them.
Okay, are you planning on hiring your own?
No.
Attorney Capellas, does she qualify for a public defender?
Yes, she does, Your Honor.
She told me that the person I talked to told me last time I qualified for one.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. Please follow up with the Public Defender's Office so that they can ensure that they can timely appoint you counsel. For today, the court is going to address bond and further proceedings as to bond. Attorney Tony.
Thank you, Your Honor. Regarding prior record for the defendant in 2010 and 11, there's operating without a valid license, convictions, and then in 2018, resisting obstructing. There was an arrest warrant issued on 10/31 of 2018 for failure to appear at the initial appearance. It appears she may have made the appearance then in February of 2019. There is an open case in Dodge County, possession of cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia. She had a signature bond, and there was a bench warrant issued on September 5th of 2023, and then looks like a return date of January 8th of 2024. There was another bench warrant issued on February 7th of 2024, and appears an appearance on April 24th of 2024. She does have one open case in Fond du Lac County of possession of cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia, misdemeanor bail jumping. There was $500 cash ordered in that case, and the Dodge County cocaine case was a signature bond. The defendant, based on the investigation, an ICE hold has been placed on her as she's not in the United States legally. The charges are significant, with the most serious, a Class C felony, trafficking of a child, which the allegations reflect is the defendant's own child, and based on the allegations, a complete failure of a mother to protect her child. Based on the allegations within the criminal complaint, based on the warrant history, the defendant's illegal status in the United States, and the risk of flight and need to protect the public, the state is asking for $1 million cash bond with non-monetary conditions of no contact with victim 1, her siblings, or her residents, no contact with children under 18, and no contact with Juan Carlos Roca Meja, M-E-J-I-A. Thank you.
What was the cash amount being requested, Attorney Tony?
$1 million, Your Honor.
Thank you. Attorney Capellas.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Antonio has significant ties to the Fond du Lac area. That being that she's lived here for the last 2 years, she has had her entire family in the area as well. Prior to her residing in Fond du Lac, she was living in Oregon before that. She does not currently have a job because she was mainly staying at home taking care of those matters. So I think she does have significant ties. The defense does understand that this is a serious case that Ms. Antonio has, but I think given the significant ties to the area, we would be requesting a cash bond at the amount of $10,000. That is a significant amount of money for Ms. Antonio, and the appropriate amount to ensure her appearance at future court dates.
Can I say something?
I'll grant you a moment to speak with Attorney Capellas. Go ahead.
And Your Honor, we're ready to proceed.
Thank you. Anything else to add at this time, Attorney Capellas?
No, Your Honor.
The court has reviewed the allegations. The four corners of the criminal complaint do establish probable cause for the charges which have been issued. The court has heard the allegations. Certainly there is heightened risk of exposure given the nature of the charged offenses. The court sets bond to address the need for Ms. Antonio to appear and address these charges. I also give some consideration to the need to protect the community as well. On that basis, I do conclude that I look towards Ms. Antonio's prior history to determine her likelihood of coming to court, honoring bond conditions, and whether or not there's a flight risk. I'm satisfied that based upon her history and recent warrant history, including warrants which were outstanding from September of 23 through January of this year, warrants issued in February of this year, returning on April of this year, as well as pending charges that not only include bail jumping, prior posting a cash bond, but are substance abuse related. I'm satisfied that cash bond is appropriate to secure the future court appearances. I do account for the uncertainty as to whether or not there could be separate federal implications under ICE hold, but at this point I give greater emphasis to the need to appear on this matter, as well as the risk of noncompliance on bond, and as well as flight. Her history of warrant tells me that when she's had warrants, she has not timely addressed those to return to court accordingly. Therefore, the court will order a $1 million cash bond. Order conditions to include absolute sobriety, no bars, no taverns, no possession and consumption of alcohol, no controlled substances without a valid prescription, no drug paraphernalia. She is prohibited from having any contact with any child under the age of 18 years old. She is prohibited from having any contact with Juan Carlos Roca Mejia, M-E-J-I-A, as that appears to be a co-actor related to these proceedings. Attorney Capellas, Ms. Antonio has a right to a preliminary hearing within the next 10 days. If she would like more time to perhaps get an attorney, I can grant more time. When would she like her preliminary hearing?
Well, Your Honor, Ms. Antonio would be requesting that preliminary hearing within the time period.
Do you understand, Ms. Antonio, that the matter will be scheduled timely and that you may not have an attorney appointed within that time frame?
Yep.
That date will be?
June 7th at 2 p.m. with Judge Nails.
Anything further from the state?
I was just thinking of my unavailability on that date, but we'll have someone else that will be available to cover.
Thank you. Anything further from defense?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. We are adjourned on that case.